Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Focus. This morning, we're talking with another exemplary person, Dale Moss. He's the president and executive producer. He's the founder of the Harlem Ambassadors since 1998, and he's going to tell us about that group. But I'd like for good morning, Dale, first of all.
Good morning, Dr. Brooks. It's a pleasure to be with you on this show.
Dale, you're no stranger behind a microphone, right? You've done a lot of appearances, right?
Well, since we founded Harlem Ambassadors in 1998, serving not-for-profit community and social service organizations all over the country. Yes, I've had plenty of opportunities to do radio shows in support of. We're at almost 2,500 shows that we've done.
Wow.
And those shows raise money in communities all over this country. We do events in Canada as well. And so community support from local radio stations, local radio shows like yours is part of the promotion of doing an event with Harlem Ambassadors.
Lake County is no stranger to you because you perform the last couple years in a row there with the North Chicago Exchange Club, where Paula Carbolito, I think, is the president of the club now, yeah?
That's correct. President-elect is your daughter-in-law, Miss Pamela Brooks. But,
matter of fact, they have an installation this Wednesday. The installation will be over by the time this show airs.
Okay.
But the installation is Wednesday. I'm sure you'll probably be there, right?
Yeah.
Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Yes, we've had great support from North Chicago Exchange Club. On October 19th, we'll perform our fourth annual fundraising event for North Chi Exchange.
For the fourth, okay.
At 4 p.m. At North Chicago High School, home of the Warhawks.
Oh, yes.
And, it's just been a great relationship. The first 2 years, me personally, my wife and I were still living in Colorado, which is where the company is based.
Okay.
But since that time and having met folks, we've also moved to Lake County ourselves and have an opportunity to interact. And then starting last year, we moved our team's training camp to Great Lakes Community Center in Forestal Village.
Right.
And we had almost 2 weeks of training with our players being lodged in Navy Lodge right there as well. So, since that time, we have opened a small office, myself and an assistant, and we're in right off of 41 in Lake Bluff. So we're getting to know friends like yourself here in Lake County, and the reception that we've received to what we do and what we are has been just tremendous. We love the people here.
Your wife is a tremendous person too, and soon, very soon, we're going to have both of you on the Community Forum, our television show, because both of you are active in the church too. And I think the First Baptist Church in Lake Forest. How did you get united with them?
Through North Chicago Exchange and through Mrs. Pamela Brooks, who invited us to visit. My wife is an ordained minister. She is now in charge of women's program at First Baptist Church of Lake Forest. I'm a deacon there.
Okay.
So we're engaged in the spiritual community as well as the social and the business community here.
This is fantastic. Well, let's start off in high gear. What piqued your interest in starting an organization like the Harlem Ambassadors?
Well, it goes back a long way. I have worked in professional sports basically all my life. What brought me to Chicago, I was the marketing manager for the Chicago Sting, which was
Yes.
a professional soccer team back in the 80s.
Okay.
And relocated here, met my wife here. Subsequently, I was involved in some two different businesses myself, doing consulting with professional sports teams. And we moved that business to Colorado back in the mid-'90s. We made that move as a lifestyle change. And I was looking to get involved in ownership, more of a team type of situation. And we came up with the business plan for Harlem Ambassadors. But it really took shape when I met Lady Magic, the queen of show basketball, who's our player coach, vice president of basketball operations. She really knew how to put on the floor the product that we were going to be able to market as Harlem Ambassadors. And she continues to be a performer and coach for us 15 years into this thing. So I feel like it was God ordained that he puts people in your path and makes connections for you if you're open to receiving them. And once we made that connection, we've grown. Now from 1998, when we did 30 local events in the Rocky Mountain States region, to annually now we do over 220 events.
Wow.
With 2 touring units on the road at any given time, performing the Harlem Style basketball show. When we say Harlem Style, that means comedy routines, slam dunks, ball handling tricks, a lot of interaction with the audience and with the members of the challenging team and so forth. So it's a family fun event, and we can feel good that in that period of time, in those 15 years, we've helped local organizations like North Chicago Exchange Club raise over $9 million in funds for their local projects and programs.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking with Mr. Dale Moss. He's the president and executive producer, founder of the Harlem Ambassadors. Since, as he mentioned, since 1998, 15 years experience and still growing. How do you recruit for your basketball players?
Well, that's one of our biggest challenges because we're looking not to win a championship, but to win friends and positive influence within the community. So we have to find players that are solid citizen, role model, grounded performers that are going to represent our organization and organizations like North Chicago Exchange positively when they come into their community. They may only be there for a day to perform the event. And, so we're looking through coaches, through agents, through referrals from our organizers, referrals from our ex-players. We get a lot of those word-of-mouth type of referrals. But if you're not drug-free, if you haven't pursued your college degree, and if you haven't been exemplary in your life off the court, you've probably disqualified yourself from being a Harlem Ambassador, because we need somebody that has chosen a positive path and wants to share that with the world. And we have people that come to us, they see this as a ministry opportunity, an opportunity to travel around, interact with different people, and share a positive message. And it's something that young people can feel good about doing. But no secret, it's a grind. They may play 5-6 performances in a week. They may travel 2, 3, 4 hours every day in between these events.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we say we do 220 events a year, part of that has to do, given in that, is that they're going to be doing an awful lot of traveling.
Well, what about break time? You have a summer break, or do you travel out during the summer too?
No, we're off. This period of time right now, we're off from mid-May until our training camp will begin early September, and we start performing again about September the 15th. So we go September the 15th to May 15th, some breaks around the holidays, but at any given time, these folks may be on the road for 2 or 3 months solid. So they appreciate mom's home cooking and and laundry service when they get home to mom.
Mr. Moss, Lake County is approximately 800,000 people. And like I reinforced that I don't know how many up at 5 o'clock this morning listen to the program on a Sunday morning, but we do have quite an audience. But if anyone would like to get in contact with you and about a performance and you do performances for 501c3 organizations or what,
yes,
trying to raise money and so forth, just how would they contact you?
Well, I'd encourage them first to check out our website at www.harlemambassadors.com. And that has all sorts of good information about who we are, what we do, how we do it. And that would be the first step. And there will be email form on there to click for more information about having us come as a performance, more information about how the fundraising aspect works and so forth. And if you contact us through those means, we can be assured that we're going to get information out to you. We're going to be able to give you everything that you need to know to make a decision as to whether or not Harlem Ambassadors might be a fun, unique way to raise funds. Mm-hmm. Given what the economy is, we get all kinds of people contacting us that are looking for new, different ways to raise money. Money is hard to come by. Some of these organizations used to receive government grants and no longer get grants. Mm-hmm. Lots of them may have gotten, at some point in time, donations, mm-hmm. and those donations dry up as the economy went bad. So, and some like to associate themselves with us as a means of not only raising funds, but telling the story about what they're doing in the community. Yes. I visited an event in Ohio a couple of months ago, and it was the Lions Club. The Lions Club is all involved with eye care, helping the blind and mm-hmm. getting glasses to people that need glasses and so forth. Well, they helped use that platform of the Harlem Ambassadors event to tell the community about what they're doing to mm-hmm. help in the vision component of their message. So
you mentioned about getting the audience involved too, but I noticed that the last year you had Lake County State's Attorney on a team playing against. So it's and other local people that to make this a family thing.
It makes it a family thing. It makes it a community thing. We leave that entirely to the local organizer to put together the team, the celebrity all-star team to play against us. And I know one of the candidates for state's attorney was one of the contacts of North Chicago Exchange. But we've played against celebrity athletes. We've played against local radio station personalities. We've played against politicians, police chiefs, football coaches, basketball coaches, all sorts of people that have profile within that community and are helping out the cause and having fun at the same time. So, we encourage them to network those types of people into building the challenging team to play against us, because it's all for fun.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking with Mr. Dale Moss. He's the founder of the Harlem Ambassadors. Been organized since 1998, and they are very available, make themselves available to participate in any fundraising activities that you may have. And fundraising is always important, right? For not-for-profit organizations, And it's a fun type of family and also a community event. Too, where a lot of fun is being had. You mentioned that the players are role models for the for at the game for the youngsters. Also, you do a lot of traveling, but the players. This is not a event that they retire at, right?
Generally, especially, uniquely, we have male and female players.
Okay.
The bulk of the roster are male players.
Okay.
You're going to see a lot of slam dunks and a lot of athleticism. But, no, when you say retire at, generally we're going to get players that play for 2-3 years max.
Okay.
The girlfriend back home may say, "Okay, you've done that. Now it's time to settle down." For some people, it's a life-changing experience, and we kind of treasure that. The player that has difficult time with public speaking, difficult time with presenting himself. When you ask him a question, when he first came to us, he might look at his shoes. And now this player is the dean of students at a charter school in an inner city location somewhere in this country, because he can stand up and express himself and have confidence and leadership and just poise that he acquired through his 2.5 years with touring with Harlem Ambassadors. So if you're not growing from this experience, you're missing out on it, because you're going to interact with a ton of people. You're going to grow in all kinds of ways and stretch yourself. And we're proud of the alumni players that we had, where they've come from. I have a young lady that played with us that's a kindergarten teacher.
Oh.
And also coaches high school basketball. There's just there's a whole list of people have come to us, have grown in all kinds of ways, and have gone on to be impactful in their communities. And that makes us very proud.
Now, this is quality entertainment that the attendees receive, then, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We wouldn't have grown from doing 30 local shows to doing 220 if the reviews weren't very positive about the quality of our show, the quality of our people, and the entertainment value. If it's not entertaining, it's not working. And again, I pass that credit along to Lady Magic, because she sure knows how to put on a show, and she has done an outstanding job of really building our program so that it is well received.
I was really impressed that all your players are college basketball players, and they have degrees and all types of fields, from counseling to just all types of fields, and then make a big difference. You also perform not-for-profit organizations such as Big Brothers, Big Sisters, the Rotary, Kiwanis, the Lions, the Chamber of Commerce, the Boys and Girls Club, and the Habitat for Humanity, and even the U.S. military.
We're extremely proud of what we've done. We've performed at over 150 different bases. We've probably done more than 300 shows for United States military. Mm-hmm. But we've done overseas tours in Japan, Korea, Germany. We've really been all over the world performing for the U.S. military. And the feedback that we get from military is they like the show because it's positive. It appeals to all ages, all races, both genders of the military community. And, the relationship with military, it started from our very first show, which was in a place called Mountain Home, Idaho, which is the home of Mountain Home Air Force Base.
Yes, you mentioned that. I have a cousin that retired from the Air Force and lives in Mountain Home.
Oh, okay. Well,
coincidence.
I've been there. I've been there a couple of times, but that was the location of our very first show. Mm-hmm. Well, so from day one, we were performing for a military audience. And the great thing about military is if you do a good job for them, these people move around.
Okay.
They get transferred to different bases and different situations, and we're constantly running into people that we knew from one base that are now at another base. And, I think the biggest characteristic of why we grew with the military was word of mouth.
Okay.
And right. We have people that have been at these bases for us, bringing us into places like Japan, it's just something that's really important for us to help serve the military, entertain the military. And it's something we're extremely proud of.
Fantastic. I have to thank Andrea Simmons. She's the Director of Client and Media Relations for the Harlem Ambassadors for getting the info, which is located in Fort Collins, Colorado, getting the information to me so I can promulgate it onto the citizens here in Lake County.
Andrea is the person that makes that office go, and she organizes with assistance from Christy Roberts. She organizes these tours, puts together such a comprehensive itinerary. Mm-hmm. When you're a player with Harlem Ambassadors, you're on tour in October of 2013. You're going to be handed an itinerary that's going to basically tell you where you're going to be every minute for a month's period of time. And that certainly takes somebody that's a lot more organized than myself. Right. Andrea is extremely detail-oriented, but she's also has worked on so many of these programs that she's a resource for those organizers to call up and say, what do you suggest that I do with this, or how's the best way for us to market that? And Andrea has taken us into next season. We're offering electronic ticketing for our game organizers, where through an affiliation with Brown Paper Tickets, they can market their games through Facebook, through email, through Twitter, and people can go to a website and purchase tickets, and it costs the game organizer absolutely nothing. So it's going to broaden our reach and help us be more successful. And those are the kinds of things that Andrea is constantly working on. So I had to put a plug in there for Andrea. She's my girl. She keeps me going.
Well, I'll ensure that she gets a copy of this tape to thank her really for all the effort that she put into it. It's not only here at Community Focus, but all over the world, all over the 50 states and so forth. Now, if the listening audience want more information, they can click on www.harlem, HARLEM, ambassadors, AMBASSADORS.com. And you could get more information. Now, I love the fact that both of you are active in a church. This is the First Baptist Church of Lake Forest, where the pastor is Todd Fletcher. Matter of fact, Todd Fletcher is a retired Navy person. He retired from the Navy.
Absolutely.
And they're doing a great job in the Lake Forest community there with...
and we got a couple of members of the Brooks family on the roll, and definitely involved there. So,
well, one is the director of music, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, and then the other one you named, she's the vice president of the North Chicago Exchange Club. Well, we'll be installed the Wednesday what is that, the 26th, right?
At Great Lakes Community Center, which also happens to be the training camp home of the Harlem Ambassadors. So it's nice and cozy here. Yeah. And we've just, through those events, had the pleasure of meeting you and your wife, and seeing the important work that you're doing in this community. And
thank you.
Just want to partner with you folks in any way that we can. So I just appreciate the opportunity to come onto your show, and I thank you for the invitation.
Boy, it's no accident that we met, and I know you mentioned about my son and my daughter-in-law. They just excited about what you're doing and your participation. By the way, you're a deacon of the church.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
Right? So you're not just a bench warmer, you know.
No, we were involved with. I became a deacon some 20 years ago at a church on the north side of Chicago, and was ordained as a deacon, and continued to follow that call in my life, and try to contribute in whatever way I can.
And your wife is, would you say, sure, her position, she's active? She
is the associate pastor at First Baptist Church of Lake Forest.
Okay.
And her primary focus is the women's ministry. And that's something that she attended seminary for when we were still living in Colorado, and it's just a great opportunity for her to share her gift, which is Christian leadership.
Well, the first opportunity I get, I'm going to have her have the seat that you're having here and talk about her women's ministry.
Absolutely.
This is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're very excited to have our distinguished guest, Dale Moss, president, executive producer, and founder of the Harlem Ambassadors. This has been Community Focus. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.